Lindsay Theory for Fox Sports, SCPublic.com, and it's time again for the Trojan Five, looking back at a crazy week at USC. Starting out at number 5, what's the definition of a players-only meeting? Well, I'm not sure we even know the answer to that anymore, but what we do know is that a few Trojan players gathered for dinner this week. Marquise Lee called it a players-only meeting. The media called it a meeting of the minds against Lane Kiffin. So what was it really? Well, it was a gathering of a handful of players who had dinner and discussed their loss to Washington State and how to get this train back on track against Boston College. At number 4, Clancy Pendergast once again is MVP. The USC first-year defensive coordinator has soundly put in place his 5-2 scheme, and the Trojans are executing. Yes, the scoreboard read a loss, but if you're looking at the SC defense against Wazoo, scored a win. The Trojans only allowed a field goal on Saturday while grabbing 2 interceptions and keeping pressure on the quarterback all night long. In fact, Pendergast D is so good, their run defense is best in the country. Finally, at number 3, USC has a starting quarterback. Now, you'd think this would be bigger news than number 3, but it really has been a crazy week. After battling through spring and fall, Cody Kessler, the kid from Fresno, is the Trojans' starting guy. Kessler's first 2 performances weren't jaw-dropping by any means, but he did enough to beat out Max Wittick. Kessler told me this week it was a little tough trying to win a game and compete against Wittick at the same time. So let's see this week, if he only has to focus on winning, how he does. At number 2, here's the good news USC fans need right about now. And where does it come from? The basketball program. I didn't know I'd be saying that this soon either. New head coach Andy Enfield landed his guy, 2014 point guard Jordan McLaughlin. Enfield spent the entire July evaluation period at every court McLaughlin was at, and it clearly paid off. McLaughlin committed to Enfield Wednesday, saying he can't wait to be a part of the Trojan family and help turn the basketball program around. And at number 1, this will be the last you hear of it for at least a few seconds. The Trojans fell to Washington State 10-7 on Saturday. USC entered the game number 25 in the country, now out of the polls. Kiffin called it a disaster of a passing game performance. The Trojans only able to muster 54 yards through the air. USC fans booed, then they chanted to fire their head coach, and the sky seemed to be falling around the Coliseum. USC now 1-1 this season. That will do it for this week's Trojan 5. Kickoff Saturday is at noon, Boston College. Hopefully for the Trojan family, happier times ahead.